All right. Today is June the 2nd, 2025. We're going to go through just a few minutes of this on this case of mine, and I just want to show everybody what has transpired. All right. July the 1st, 2024. This is a summons to me. Here's what I'm being charged with. Criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, intimidation, aggravated trespass, and menacing. All right? Intimidation is a felony. This was all signed here by Brianna Dahl. This is the conclusion from Lieutenant Morris. Lieutenant Morris, the conclusion. Dahl signed the affidavit regarding this incident and was also allowed to sign a complaint form for the above listed charges. Dahl advised me that she was interested in pursuing any applicable charges against Petty. I am requesting this case be forwarded to the Lorain Municipal Prosecutor's Office for review and possible presentation during a Rule 4 hearing. Reported by Lieutenant Morris. That was on July the 1st, 2024. On July the 16th, remember, Dahl said she's pursuing these. August the 16th. This is from the state of Ohio, city of Lorain versus Garen Petty. And they don't know how to spell my fucking name right. I don't know why. Well, I didn't mean fucking. I mean my real name. It's one R. Please get it right, Lorain. Now comes the state through and hereby gives notice of the amendment to the complaint of charge of criminal trespass in the above captioned matter pursuant to Ohio Revised Code. All right. They changed this to one count of criminal trespass, and this was the witness or the complainer is Jacob Morris of the Lorain Police Department. He wasn't even there that night. 7/1/24. He wasn't there. Knowingly enter and remain on the land or premises of the city of Lorain. Well, I'm on the land of the city of Lorain now. How come I'm not trespassing? Come on. This is how the city of Lorain works, people. In violation of Lorain City Ordinance, criminal trespass, a misdemeanor of the 4th degree. Right here, signed by Morris. The judge or the clerk, it looks like M.M. Mark Mihawk. This is on August 15th, 2024. Okay, now let's go back here because the original charge was from the person that was running for judge, Mallory Santiago. Mallory Santiago, Rocky Radiff, their certificate of service, Mallory Santiago. They signed all this to change it from all these charges just to criminal trespass. Mallory Santiago was running for Lorain judge. She lost in the primary. She was at the HOA Morningside meeting with a campaign shirt on while they violated the Open Meetings Act at that meeting. All right? Like I said, Brianna Dahl signed this affidavit to put all these charges on me, right? So, and since Morris wasn't there and he charged me with criminal trespass, I just have a picture here of Jerry Donovan coming out of the area of, it says officials only, and there is Lieutenant Morris right there looking at him. He came out of there, right? Jerry Donovan. How come he didn't get charged with trespass? Let's see who else is in here. Oh, let me get back to this thing again. Let's see here where Mary Springowski said something. Springowski was later asked why her father, Jerry Donovan, had also been past the barrier, to which she explained that he, Donovan, was invited by a member of council, her, to come into the area and help her carry belongings due to a medical issue she had. Let me repeat that. Donovan was invited by a member of council, her, to come into the area and help her carry belongings due to a medical issue she had. She confirmed that Donovan was granted permission to enter this area by a member of council herself. Why? He doesn't need permission to be in there. The meeting was adjourned. When the meeting is adjourned, permission is not needed because everybody is allowed to go back there. You're only allowed not to be back there after the meeting commences. But she has a medical issue, yet I have video of her walking out that night with her husband carrying this satchel. Let's see. Here's a picture of this satchel that she has here. Well, let's see. Here's a picture. There's that satchel. There's one picture there. This is from the 15th of July. There she's holding that again. She has a medical issue, but she's carrying that thing. Looks like it weighs about 1,000 pounds, and maybe 50 pounds, 20 pounds, who knows? But she has a medical issue. I don't know what it is. There he is coming out her dad. There's Morris back there, still watching this. You know, he's seen this whole thing. He was back there illegally. Joel Arredondo told him to get out because actually the meeting hadn't adjourned. They just recessed into a executive session. So, you know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Anyhow, right here's a picture of Tony DeMacchio walking out of the area there. And there's Morris back there again watching. You know, Tony DeMacchio walked right past Jerry Donovan. Let's see who else walked by here. Right here. Here's Dan Nutt walking by. Jerry Donovan is plainly back there. Riley's there. Joel's there. Don Zaleski is there. The assistant law director. Joe Kajura. Dan Nutt is walking. And Jerry Donovan is inside the wall. He's not being charged. Why? Has he got special privilege because his daughter had a medical problem? I don't see him helping her carry anything out. This is the 15th of July, which later on she cried in October of 2024. She, at a council meeting, she said she needs help to come in there to carry her shit out, right? Or her baggage or her luggage or whatever. But like I said, I got video of her leaving with her husband. She's carrying all that stuff herself. Her husband don't even help her. Yeah, let's see now. Here's one. There's her dad and her husband back there. Right? They're back there. Nobody says nothing. Who else do I have in here? There's Jerry Donovan again. He's back there. Thornsberry ain't saying nothing. You know, how come they're not screaming, get out of here, get out of here? Just because there's a sign up, that doesn't change what the rules are. This is Tom Springowski. There's Carissa Whitetalk. The other fun thing about this is going through Lieutenant Morris's comments is that let's see here in his transcript here. I received an email from Chief McCann that an incident had occurred at the Lorain City Council meeting chambers between Mr. Petty and involved Brianna Dahl. I never even spoke to Brianna Dahl that night. I was trying to talk to the mayor, and Joel interrupted me. The clerk of council, and several council members. and city members of the city administration were present. All right. And several people were in fear. Wow. Chief McCann directed me at that time to conduct an investigation. Chief McCann said, make it happen. We have his email. To conduct an investigation in the matter to see if any violation of criminal statute. All right. Like I said, I got all kinds of stuff here. Remember, this is Captain Morris's comments. So he's talking to Brianna Dahl here, but essentially she said that he berated her for an unknown amount of time. She didn't know exactly what he said. It was loud. She couldn't recall the exact words that he used. She didn't believe that he was quite threatening her physically. This was Brianna Dahl's statement. This is what Captain Morris told the judge and Mallory Santiago, the prosecutor. Okay? Let's go over here now. So this is on page 10. He said, one of the city employees I reached out to was law director Pat Riley. He was seen on the camera there. I asked him if he remembered seeing anything. He said, unfortunately, he believes he was there during the beginning of the interaction, but prior to the interaction really escalating, he actually had left. Him and assistant law director Zaleski had actually left the council chambers before it rose at all. Huh? What arose? I tried to ask the mayor a question, and Joel screamed at me. So said he was there, but then he ran off, right? And now here's a thing from Demakia. And as Councilman Demakia, and I believe Councilman Nutt approached as well, Petty left the council chambers. Oh, so here they come. They came after me, apparently, and I left. Now, according to Mr. Demakia, he looked at Miss Dahl and could see Miss Dahl was apparently in fear. If I was in front of her, facing her, how could he see her? My back would have been to Demakia, but see, they're making this stuff up. And again, his concern was that Mr. Petty wasn't even supposed to be on that side of the clearly marked barrier prohibiting people who were not public officials from coming there. Okay, this is Morris now, I then interviewed Councilwoman Springowski. See, Springowski's the key here. So then you're talking about here, and this is Springowski still going through all this stuff, that Joel didn't do anything. Him and Bradley just sat there and blah. Well, Springowski's father, who apparently was on the other side helping Councilwoman Springowski, was some sort of property that she had to carry. I would later speak to Springowski about this. She would explain that she had provided, page 14, permission for her father to help her as she had recently had some operations and can't lift so many objects of a certain weight. This is not uncommon for people to be invited behind those doors by either a member of council or council president or somebody with the authority to do so, in a sense that sometimes they will be recognized for a good deed or anyhow. The only person that has permission to give it, that has the authority to give anybody permission to come back there is the safety service director. So here's what the problem is. Springowski's making up rules that ain't even in the council rules. Then I spoke to Councilman Nutt as well. And he said that he went over there to attempt to intervene, at least got between the two. Okay, let's see. I spoke to Councilman Nutt as well, who was present during this. He again was another one that said, I was on the other side of council chambers, but my attention was directed to essentially a loud, aggressive argument. Wow. How could there be an argument when there was no exchange? Or aggressive statements that were occurring. This is Dan Nutt. You know, we haven't gone through his actual thing yet. We'll go through that someday. And he said he went over there to attempt to intervene or at least get between the two parties. But prior to him actually being there, Mr. Petty was walking out and Miss Dahl was walking out of the back door. Wow. Okay. So this didn't last very long, right? And so then Mr. Morris, the captain of the police, says on page 16 of his, this is his recorded testimony with the judge. That's all the interviews that I conducted. There were more people present, but honestly, you know, it seemed to be quite redundant. You know, all of the people that I interviewed were either elected officials, you know, public officials. They're credible. I don't know of any conflicts that may jeopardize the validity or credibility of their statements. Well, their own statements jeopardize the validity of their credibility because they all got different answers to the same thing, right? Let's see now, what else I got here? These are just the snippets. Okay, this is the thing here now where Morris still says, the folks, Mr. Damaki and Miss Springowski, Mr. Nutt, who I spoke to, were all quite far away. According to them, they couldn't hear exactly what was being said. However, they heard what sounded like loud, aggressive yelling. It was more about the tone and the pitch rather than the wordage. All right, is there any logos yelling? I don't know. I mean, they all said there was a lot of noise, right? So then the judge asked the court, and even Miss Dahl can't remember exactly what he said. The witness, Morris. Yes, Your Honor, Miss Dahl explained that she can't remember exactly what he said. She thinks it was something about the minutes that she hadn't had typed. But she pretty much said, the court in indicating threatening words that you consider threats? The witness, Morris. Yes, Your Honor, she could not recall any specific threats like towards physical harm of anything. So then he goes on to say it was quite apparent yet that he was talking to her, meaning me. And here's the final statement. Once that meeting to adjourn passed, you can see her kind of grab the mouse and begin preparing to shut down recordings and essentially get out of city council chambers, right? So she wasn't paying any attention to me, right? So when it cuts out, which is the video, he's probably eyed, if I had, and this is an estimate, he's probably about 2 feet to her right, but on the other side of that barrier and the computer. She didn't add that in there. And as witnesses stated, he kept getting closer and more aggressive, which is what prompted them to say he didn't just want to say a couple of words and leave. He's actually rising in agitation. Oh, this is what they all said, right? But they were all so far away that they couldn't hear anything I said. How come? So then the court says, would it be beneficial, do you think, for me to see or hear, but indicating here, which means the video, and Miss Santiago says we can provide that. Now, we don't know if they ever provided it or not. They haven't provided us with Mary Springowski's video that she said she took. So then the witness, Morris, says, I would think just, if nothing else, to show that there was an interaction and that it had begun and then it was actually prior to the council meeting even ending. Yet his own words and timeline shows me entering after the meeting adjourned. This is what I have to put up with, people. This is what we got here in Lorraine. Let's see, I got all kinds of pictures here. See, they don't have nothing but a bunch of liars talking about me. Now here's with me walking in there, going to talk to the mayor. The mayor's leaning over. She's not paying attention. Ray Carrion's not paying attention. Riley Joel's looking at me. Kajura. There's Thornsberry. Here's Springowski on the right. Damaki, you can see his hand. And Sylvia Duvall, they're giving high fives to each other, right? Let's go to the next one here. You can see the feet of Carissa Whitetalk coming in there. There's Carissa Whitetalk. Yet, you notice that Morris interviewed Springowski picking up her luggage here, that she had a medical problem. Demakia, who's not even in the picture. Dan Nutt, who's behind there. He's way over to the right, behind Demakia. All right? They didn't interview Carissa. I'm looking at the mayor right there, so how could I be looking at Brianna and talking, yelling at her? Brianna's not paying attention. They didn't interview Don Zaleski. He was there. They didn't interview Joe Kajura. Go get the list of subpoenas. All right? It's right there by my wallet. So I'm talking there looking at the mayor, but they're saying I'm screaming and yelling at her. Springowski said she gets up and runs over there by Ray Carrion, right? Let's see, where's the next picture at? Here's the next picture. Then I'm looking at Joelle. Springowski's picking up her luggage. She's not running to Ray Carrion. Ray Carrion's looking at me and then looking the other way. Here's a high five by Sylvia Duvall and Tony Damachia. You know, let's see what else Springowski's doing over here. Springowski's looking. All right, Springowski says she runs over there. Right? In her interview. And then she says she runs back and starts taking video. Anyhow, here's the list of the people that got subpoenas, everybody. You think I'm full of shit? 25 subpoenas. Riley, Bradley, Dahl, James McCann, the police chief, who's on administrative leave. They took his gun and badge. He's going to be a witness because he started this. Don Zaleski, Jerry Donovan, Denver Casto, who was there, Tom Springowski, because Mary mentioned his name, Joel Arredondo. Mary Springowski, Anthony Damachia, Dan Nutt, Joanne Moon, Mary Spellacy, Joshua Thornsberry, Sylvia DeBall, Tim Williams, who's the Assistant Safety Service Director, Victoria Kempton, because I talked to Tim Williams that night, and Springowski mentions his name. Pam Carter, Beth Henley, Joe Kajura, Ray Carrion, Carissa Whitetalk, Patrick Horn, Antonio Baez. He was a police officer there. His duty as a police officer is to, if he sees a crime, to arrest a criminal. The meeting was adjourned. Apparently he didn't see a crime. I didn't get arrested. Right? This is the thing here, people. These are the people we're going to have for witnesses. It's too bad that I have to hire an attorney and go through all these videotapes and recordings from the police department, who we still haven't gotten all the stuff from the police department. They gave it to Aaron Knapp. They didn't give it to us. Mary Springowski said in her interview that she took a video. She was videoing on her personal phone. We have yet to receive that. Where's the video, Mary? Why were you carrying baggage out? I got you on tape from my dash cam. Carrying luggage out, but you had some kind of medical issue. You couldn't carry none. That's why your dad was back there. Then you changed it to a piece of paper. And then he ran out of there to go get the auxiliary. What did he say? What did he say, huh? See, we're going to have fun in court. This is going to be fun. Because Dan Nuts says that I didn't go up the steps because somebody was coming down the steps. Ooh, they were? No video shows that, Dan Nut. So this is just another snippet. We got Lieutenant Morris giving his testimony in front of a judge, in front of Mallory Santiago, the prosecutor. And then they charged me with criminal trespass after they dropped all these other charges. One thing that Mr. Morris didn't say, that Joel, in his statement, says that Don Zaleski told Brianna not to file those charges. There was nothing there, but she went over his head somehow. He should have said that, mentioned that to the judge. I saw it in there. How come he didn't? He's the one who took the interview. And the other thing is, Brianna Dahl doesn't have a recorded interview. Everybody else is recorded. Even some people recorded on phone. But Brianna Dahl ain't recorded. So there's a lot of loopholes in here that they're trying to get me to jump through these hoops, and they're going to jump through them because they're the ones that are making up this stuff. And so Carissa Wright, well, I mean, not Carissa was there, but where's this other picture here? Let me see this picture here. I'm talking to Mayor Bradley right there. Carissa's not even, I mean, Brianna's not looking at me. Carissa's not looking at me. If I'm making such a big noise, Joel's trying to throw me out of there when I'm allowed back there because the meeting was adjourned. Remember, they said that she was petrified. Brianna was standing there petrified, yet she never gets up off her seat. And then Springowski, hiding over here, says that Zaleski and Don and Pat Riley walked Brianna out. Brianna said she left by herself. Joel said I followed her out. I didn't. I went over here. Where's the picture? After I left over there, I went over here by Mary's Fallacy, where Patrick Horn was. Remember, Patrick Horn said on Facebook that I threatened people. I just read their statements. They never felt threatened at all. The only one threatened was Springowski. But she said she was recording all this. Where is she? Gonna be fun, people. I'm gonna put this on YouTube to keep it. Have a nice day, Lorraine. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. October the 6th. We're gonna invite the national media. Darren Petty, I'm out.